Hello and welcome back to the Vintage Unicorn. This is day number 5 of my 10 days of alternative looks. So for this I decided to do a double cut crease. So I cut up and then I cut down. So concealer and then a cream product. And I did this so that I could do a true gradient as well as a true contrast using two opposite colors from the color wheel. So I haven't thought of a name for this yet. I'll put something in the description. I'm thinking red and green cut crease, electro, something, I don't know, something like that. So thank you so much for clicking on this video, and if you want to see how I did this, it is this way. Also, if you want to subscribe, it is down here. I also have embedded a little link to go ahead and do that right in the video, and if you wouldn't mind doing that, I would really appreciate it. So thank you and enjoy the video. Alright, let's get straight into this look. I am feeling very quietly confident and very glamorous just thinking about it. Now, brows frame the face, and because this is such a brow heavy look that I have not yet tried before, I am going to go straight in with my brows. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Dip in Blonde, and I'm just going to get my Real Techniques angled brush and start going straight in for those brows. Small hair-like motions in the front, and then I really want to kind of augment my natural brow because my brows are not as big as I'm wanting for this look. Now, of course, that brow went on like effortlessly, but I never seem to have such luck with the other ones, so here goes nothing. Just making sure there's not like chunks. I do have a couple of new products that I'm going to play with in this, one of which is the new Kat Von D 24-hour brow lock, I want to call it. I have it right here, and I did play with it on my brows today. It's a great product, but I felt a little clownish. Even though my hair is red, I still kind of prefer neutral tone eyebrows, especially when I'm doing a cut crease. So we are going to use that as a reverse cut crease product and then do the rest. So going straight into the eyes, this is an eye heavy look. I am going to go in with my City Color. And really, it doesn't matter what primer you use. I just want something that's going to give me a nice even tone, kind of correct any of the redness that's going on and clean up any patchiness. So this is going to be an almond shape eye with a wing and a double cut crease. Are you ready? Because I am ready. I am wearing my little sexy dress and so ready to look beautiful for my husband when he gets home. This is my alternative look 5. I'm on 5, and I just want to say to anyone who is new to the channel, or maybe you've been browsing through, I am really looking to grow, so I would super appreciate it if you would consider subscribing, because I do try and put out a video every day, and I am just coming up with like too many makeup looks to handle. So this was one I really wanted to do today. So I'm going to be working out of the Take Me Back to Brazil palette. I'm going to be using some Sugar Pill here and there and so on and so forth. So what I want to do first is get a very light smoky smoky crease going on, and I want to do that in the shade Lolita with a NARS M506. Do I have it? Yeah, M506, which is my favorite blending brush. It's a very small blending brush, and I want to do a perfect oval there. And I am going to transition into a bright green, but there's not going to be any blending, so I want to focus on building up the intensity of the top and then focusing on the lid. So just bringing that in on the other side in a very similar way, kind of following my natural crease and avoiding my natural inclination to turn it into a wing, which I was just doing as I was talking about it. That's okay. And blending out that application. This side I kind of already messed up while I was talking about what I was not going to do, but that's okay. I do want there to be some geometry to the crease, meaning I want it to find its way home somewhere along the inner corner, and I want it to plant itself down right outside the crease. And I'm just going to continue blending that out so it's a nice little even shade. There's going to be a lot of highlighter use. There's going to be a lot of contouring. There is going to be a lot of concealer to cut the crease and contour it. So yeah, kind of doing it all today, hoping that I'm up for it. So see, I went in for a wing shape right when I was saying I wasn't going to, so that is going to be something that I can fix in what I'm hoping is going to be the next step. Mind you, I have not used this product in this way. I actually got it for use on my brows, and it just wasn't great on my brows, but I could tell it was a great product. So I am going to go in with an angled brush that I would otherwise use on my eyebrows and really get to work carving that out. And I had a brush set aside especially for this because it had never touched any other product. And my brushes always seem to run away like mid-filming, and I truly apologize for that. But I promise I had it set out, so I will just have to grab another one. This one has never been used. I don't know what it is. It's an angled brush, so let's hope it can do the job I was going to assign to the other brush. So this is the product. It's a brow product, but it is a pigment that I think I can use anywhere, and it's beautiful. But when I put it on my brows, it was clownish. It was a little clownish. So I want to trace the crease from almost the inner corner to the outer, and it doesn't need to be super perfect at this point. It's just going to be the really bright gradient that brings everything together on the red side. And it's working quite well. It feels like a concealer, like a cream concealer kind of feeling. And I just want that to be what leads into the red. And I'm going to do the same on the other eye and just build in my crease from about right there to about yay. And this is my first time filming in 4K. We will see how much of a difference that makes. I also spent some time researching some new photography styles, so I am going to see if I can photograph this look really well. And I do want to bring this down even more and fully cut the crease with this red. And now that the red is in place, there doesn't need to be a lot. I want to go in and start slowly adding color. So I am going to get the Brazil palette out and we're going to add red. All right, so now that that has had a moment to dry and kind of set in place, I just want to use a small to medium flat shadow brush and go in for the shade on the bottom row, second from the left next to the bubblegum pink. It is a kind of smoky brown color, which I have so many ideas for. And I want to start packing that color in as well as focusing that red that I just added closer towards my brow bone. And then I will be blending with another brush. This is not a blending brush. It's a great brush, but it's not a blending brush. All right, and same on the other eye. The other eye got a little messy. That always seems to be the case, but it's very fixable. And I just want to smudge that up in there. And I almost want to bring it to my brow bone. Just start feathering it up and doing the same on the other eye just to add that warmth underneath there, which instead of doing that as a base shade, I'm doing it as a primary shade. I don't know what's going on with this eye. It's just being a little funky. The other eye is really cooperating. This one, not so much. But I think it'll still be okay, because the colors are starting to blend now. With my pencil brush again, I want to dip into my Lolita and start adding slowly more red to that overall oval. And then I will blend the colors to fully assimilate them. There we go. Now you're behaving, aren't you? Slightly. And any excess, any spillage, any problems that I have in this area, I will go after hardcore with the concealer and start blending it. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to take my little tiny blending brush, my M506, and start blending upward. And if at any time I want to add more color, I want to focus on adding the kind of more neutral transition shade as opposed to adding Lolita or any other red. In fact, on this eye, that is exactly what I'm going to do because it is still having some issues, just so that I can soften those issues while maintaining that pop of color. I want this to be really messy on its way up to my brow bone because I want it to eventually be mixed in with a highlighter. So that is the red as it will stand. I am going to continue blending it for a few minutes, and after it is nicely assimilated, we're going to come in and cut the crease and add that green. Alright, so sometime later I have a blended, almost sunset cranberry look. And now what I want to do is cut the crease. I took just a moment to add a little bit of white eyeshadow so that I could clearly see where I am going. And I am actually going to use the NARS concealer for this part and save the Lock-It for later. I have just found the NARS is a little creamier, a little easier to work with, and for some reason it smells good. I don't know if that's just me, but I don't know, it smells good. So I just want to cut out a nice clean crease and do the same on the other eye, getting a little bit of that product. NARS just makes the nicest products, they really do. I don't have very many NARS products, but the ones I have, I love. I remember when I think I was probably about 19 to 20, NARS came out with, or that was the first time that I saw their Orgasm blush, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is the most beautiful blush I have ever seen. And I don't know what made it so special, but just thinking back on that, man, I mean, I don't use very many complexion products or anything from NARS, but what I do have, grade A. Very much so. So while that sets, it shouldn't take very long. This stuff is very quick drying. I want to go in and continue to blend out so that that red is not at all lost, and just swoop back and forth using a small blending brush to maybe fix anywhere that the concealer spat up or I messed up or anything like that. I am going to add a little bit of the Lolita just to bring back that red pop, but I'm going to aim it well above my crease so that none falls out. Now, I have noticed there is a slight issue with symmetry in my eyes because I don't know. I would think that my right eye would be more susceptible to it, but it is in fact my left that is more difficult to work with. My right eye, I was bitten by a dog and I have a scar right here. And for some reason, it's just so much easier to get things to work on that eye. I don't know if maybe it's because I use my right hand to apply, but it's just an interesting thought. So I want that nice red, very, very blended, and then I'm going to add some highlighter and blend that in later. But now, because the NARS has dried, it is time to go in with the green. And I am going to be using my Sugar Pill Cosmetics. It's somewhere here. I'm going to be using my Sugar Pill Cosmetics Acid Berry single. There it is. It is right in front of me. Whenever I lose something, it's right in front of me, and I find it right after. I'm like, oh, I did have it. So anyway, but I mean, if you could see the mass that I'm working with, oh my goodness. So I want to make sure that I use a different 50, this is the 321, I'm sorry, the pencil brush. I want to use a separate one from the one that I was applying the red with, because again, they are very different tones. I don't want any kind of overlap or any kind of backlash. So this one is the one that I usually use greens, blues, yellows with. So I am just going to start packing in that color and making sure I don't get too much in the area where the red is. So I want to be very precise and very slow in adding, because this color gets bright very quickly. Yeah, that is a pop. That is quite a pop. I was expecting contrast. I wasn't expecting contrast on that level, and I am so happy with it. This is definitely not your everyday look, but you know, for me it might be. I don't know, I'll wear this, I'll rock this every day. maybe play with the colors, you know, try some other opposites, like some blue and orange or something. Colors that you would usually be like about adding together because you're like, oh my gosh, that's gonna turn into a brown. But I don't know. I had a feeling this would work. I could still be wrong, but right now it's very nice. Now, to help the acid berry pop and to add a little bit of luminosity, I am going to go into the Take Me Back to Brazil palette. This is a very, very pigmented, almost electric green, but I want to add a little bit more of a yellowy green, which is in the top middle-ish range. And the shadows in the Take Me Back to Brazil palette, they're really small, which is the only drawback, but they are super pigmented, they are super soft, they're super easy to work with, and they incorporate really well. So I'm just wanting to put as much green as I can so that it is a green eye with a red accent. And just going in and continuing to pack that color in there with the pencil brush. Slowly but surely, the green is beginning to pop. All right, so now we're gonna get to the really, really tricky stuff where I start, you know, having to draw very precise lines, that kind of thing. So just like I went in before, I want to re-accentuate that red that I drew to define the initial crease, but I want to do it just a little bit above the crease with the same red cream, and I just want to add it in areas where I see the green starting to come for the red, so that there is a clear separation, and using a cream product will ensure that every time. This has, like, I think I said it, this has a concealer consistency, and it has that much ease of use. It also has the opacity that it'll cover up flaws. So it'll cover up any issues where I may have, you know, maybe not cut correctly or the blending went askew, and just really give me that perfect almond shape that I'm looking for in contrast between the red and the green. All right, so I have my firm red foundation down for where the line needs to go, and then it's just a matter of blending, trying to stay away from that green and keep that crease circular. Anything else I can clean up later, but for now I want my crease to be perfectly separate, and I can almost guarantee that these colors won't slip. Like, I can feel it on my face already. Like, I mean, if I were to wipe it, yeah, it would be pretty bad, but right now, just gradually adding color and increasing the pump, I can tell this is gonna be an all-day wear. I think you can just tell those things. I guess that's not really fair to say, but this is some no budge color. It may not stay as luminous as it was, but even that, I mean, it's pretty damn vibrant. So one last time, I'm gonna go over the Taking Me Back to Brazil with the acid berry, because it does have a little bit of a luminous bit to it, and finish off that green. Now I am going to let these colors set just so that they can kind of settle on my skin for a second, and then I will be back for some of the artistry. So once your wings are on, you can apply the rest of your makeup however you like. I used a little bit of the Studded Kiss lip in Double Dare, and I went ahead and contoured a little bit. So just to finish it up, that white line should still be intact right along the lower lash because we really packed it in, and then just blend out the rest, and it adds for a really nice highlight. So lashes, action. I'm going to be using my Kush mascara, and I figured why not show you how I apply my magnetic lashes so that some hilarity can ensue. because I am applying magnetic lashes, I want both sides of my regular lashes to be tacky. So I go over the top and then normal mascara application technique, almost like brushing your teeth, brushing that mascara through your lashes, making sure to get the ends, and you gotta get those lower lashes, right? My mom always told me to do my makeup with my mascara with my mouth open, so it's like, but anyway, that's a whole other story. So magnetic lashes, I prefer single bond. I find the double bond are a little too tricky to deal with, and you will see why. So I am going to actually do this. I'm going to apply my magnetic lashes on camera and see how it goes. So this is how one set looks for one eye. It matches this eye, and the directions make it sound super simple that you just sandwich them together. The best way I have found is to literally just place and pray. Don't breathe, and try and get them to snap. See, it's hard. So this is why I could never use the double bond. But the benefit is you're not going to tear out any lashes. When these come off, you literally just unsnap them, and it's so much less damaging to your lashes. And they do have a really nice effect to them. It's not as full as a strip lash unless you were to get, you know, the maybe the double adhesive or even the triple adhesives or the triple magnetics, but I just don't have the skill to do that yet. This is a fairly new thing, so let's see if I can do it on the other eye. Also, I find that sometimes the little hairs get a little crooked, and mind you, this is a brand new set I just took out of the box, so just food for thought. I'm just saying you will not lose lashes doing this. If you do, it is very minimal. No harsh glues, just a lot of statue-like movement. And there they are, magnetic lashes. So let's really finish off this look together. I do want to do a little bit of nose contouring, which is not something I do every day. And to do so, I am going to use a powder. I'm going to use my Too Faced. This is the Chocolate Soleil, and I am going to use one of these little kind of toothbrushy brushes, little Artiste ones. I'm just going to take it, get a little bit on, and drag and then draw. And because I have a quite large nose, I might even contour as far down to there. And the only problem is this color tends to show up red on my skin, but it's not that huge of a deal. It still does straighten and accentuate the nose, and it just gives it a little bit nicer of a shape. If I'm going to do this, I want to do it a little bit further down, at least on this side, and then add a little bit of a powder highlight in a more neutral tone. So out of the Unicorn palette, for example, I wouldn't use the green or the pink. I would use this one and just a little bit on my finger, do a little bit right there, and run the remainder right there. Also doing the Cupid's bow, just like that. All right, so I hope this tutorial was really fun. Now my reasoning for not doing the portion regarding the wing on camera is I think everybody is entitled to do their wing however they want to do it. And just grab your favorite liner and draw a wing. So the white that was remaining, all you do is you kind of fluff that into oblivion, because in adding the lower color, the lower eyeliner, you can almost drag it so that it's really nicely incorporated right there in the middle in a smooth line. And then I just blended out the rest with a little bit of the Beauty Blender that was on camera, but it got lost. I seem to be kind of jinxed, but I am getting there. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to subscribe. It would help me out so much. I am really trying to grow, and I hope you enjoyed this contrast color makeup look. Mwah.